Right. Okay. Let's try it. I'm trying another one.
So we're still not live.
We are live again, starting again.
Okay. So I'm hoping everybody can hear me now.
It'll take a while for them to come on. We've got 7 so far.
Oh,
9.
I see you.
Yeah. Works this time.
Shabbat shalom. We've had a technical hitch. And I'm wondering if you can hear me now. Somebody put a message. Oh no, it's stopped again. Video's ended.
Well, I think yes. I think they can. Yes, I think it's working now.
Do you think we're live now?
I think we are. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to. All working now. Oh, fantastic. Karen said, I can hear you, Sandra, and I didn't realize I'd said anything, so that was good. Shabbat shalom, everybody. And sorry about the technical hitch. Who knows, these things happen. Anyway, lovely to see so many people. Let's see who is here. Oh my goodness. There's Sandra, Philip, Deborah, Julie, Karen, James, Tina, and there were some other people before that, but they'll probably reappear. Anyway, this will be a good moment to light the candles before anything else happens. So we're going to be on page 84, and it says the congregation will stand, but there's no need to stand if you are sitting comfortably at home. Draw near, eternal God, as working day turns to Sabbath rest. You have been with us all the week, and yet we have often forgotten you. Now, kindling these lights, we say your name, remembering the love you have shown us, and in gratitude and thanks, we turn to you to bathe our hungry souls in your kindness. So now I'm going to stand up and light my candles. Okay. Hopefully at least the matches will work because they're low tech. Yeah. There we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. And now, since the candles are right in front of my screen in order for you to see them, I do have to move them out of the way, otherwise I'm going to burn. So I just rearrange the Webber household here. Ooh, right, rearrange that. Woo! Yeah, that was good. Dropped a candle. I haven't set fire to the house though. Right. technical and non-technical hitches. So we get on to the service now. I did just want to say that I really liked those words that we just read before the bracha about gratitude and bathing our hungry souls in your kindness, because I think you probably all know by now that I have had the blessing this week. Howard and I have had the blessing of becoming grandparents, so we do really feel very grateful at the end of a difficult year for having a blessing like that. So now here we are at the bottom of page 84. Or Chadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizkeh kulanu meheira lo'oro. May a new light shine upon Zion, and may we be worthy to see its splendor. On this day, may we see the world in a new light. On this day, let us be freed from desire for gain, from ambition for material things. On this day, let us look beyond time and space towards eternity and know the blessing of peace. So I am just going to check on my other device to make sure that you're not all saying you can't hear me. No, everybody. Hello, Philip. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Anna. Hello, Andrew. And Jill. Tina. I think I've said hello to everybody else. So far, so good. Okay, so we are at the top of page 85, and Mayedidot mishkanotecha Adonai Tzavot. נכספה וגם גלתה נפשי לחצרות אדוני ליבי ובשרי ירננו אליי. As the sparrow finds a home and the swallow has a nest where she may lay her young, so do I seek out your altars, my sovereign and my God. Happy are those who dwell in your house, who are ever singing your praise. Happy are those who find their strength in you, whose hearts are full of your praise. Passing through the driest valley, they find it a place of springs, blessed with pools by the early rains. They go from strength to strength. They appear before God in Zion. God of the hosts of heaven, hear my prayer. Give ear, O God of Jacob. One day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather stand at the threshold of your house than recline in tents of wickedness. Eternal God, you are a sun and a shield. Your gifts are grace and glory. You withhold no good thing from those who walk uprightly. Eternal ruler of the hosts of heaven, happy are those who trust in you. And now we're going to sing Draw Yikra, and I think I've got a way of sharing the transliteration. If you will just hang on. Host disabled participant screen sharing. That's quite annoying. Okay. So we can't do that, or has it come back again? Let's just see if he's letting me. No, I can't do that. So hopefully Craig will reappear before the end of the service and let me share my screen. Forgot to ask him about that. Knowing Craig, he's gone off to have his dinner at this point. Okay, so I think I'm going to read it in English instead then, because I had a song version with words, but never mind. Proclaim freedom for daughter and son, and keep us, God, as the apple of your eye. Beautiful make our name, and never to cease. as we come to rest on the Sabbath day. Seek out the place where I dwell, O God. Grant me a sign of your deliverance. In my vineyard plant a vine, and hearken to my people's plea. Know what is wisdom for your soul, what is a crown for your head, to keep the command of your Holy One, to observe your holy Shabbat. And we will move on to page 92. It says, as it says right there. Here we go. Let's stand. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch HaMevorach. Oh, God, what am I doing? Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Praise the one to whom our praise is due. We praise the eternal one to whom our praise is due forever. Let's sit down, and we're on page 93. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chochma poteach sha'arim, u'bitvuna mashane itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, u'msadeh et hakochavim b'mishmorotechem birkia kirtsono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'ma'avir yom u'meivi Laila. Umavdil ben yom uven laila. Adonai tzavaot shemo. Baruch atah Adonai. Ha'ma'ariv aravim. So let's carry on in English together at the bottom of the page. Unending love have you shown your people, the house of Israel. Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts have you taught us. When we lie down and when we rise up, we will reflect on the meaning of your laws and rejoice in the words of your Torah and in your mitzvot forever. On them we will meditate day and night, for they are our life and the length of our days. May your love never depart from us. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We praise you, O God. You love your people, Israel. And now we're turning over to page 94 for the Shema. So please stand or sit as you like. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Eternal One is our God, the Eternal God is one. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Praised forever be God's glorious majesty. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavecha, u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol ma'adecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh, asher anochi mitzavacha hayom, al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha, v'tibarat bam, v'shiftecha b'veitecha, u'v'lechtecha v'aderech, u'v'shokbecha, u'v'kumecha. V'kasharatom la'ot al yadecha, v'hayu la'totafot bein einecha. V'chataftom al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha. Leman tizkaru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'eitem kadoshim le'elokechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני Elohechem. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly, we accepted your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל Israel. And now we're going to move straight onto the Amida on page 97. So this is a standing prayer, so we should stand unless we can't. Excuse me, I'll have a sip of water. Adonai Savatei Tiftach Uvia Giteilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanura, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומשה ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך מנית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע. Trusting in you, we see life beyond death. We praise you, O God, source of eternal life. You are holy. Awesome is your name. We have no God but you. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God. And please feel free to take a seat. Okay, so now we are at the bottom of page 98. We thank you, O God, for this Sabbath day, which calls us to a closer communion with you. Though you are near to us at all times, you reveal your presence most clearly when we direct our thoughts towards you in worship and meditation. In you, O God, our humanity is exalted. You are our life. From you come its greatness, its power, its beauty. Establish in us, we humbly pray, a devotion to you that shall be firm in all the circumstances of life. May this service renew in our hearts the sense of your presence and bring us peace. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו, ברית עולם, בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. So we're turning over onto page 100. I'm just going to have a peep and see if anybody else has arrived who I ought to say hello to. Oh, Renee. Renee, hope you're a happy new year. Hope you're okay and hope you're having a good rest. Jocelyn, I don't know you, but hello and welcome. Vince, Shabbat Shalom. Michelle, Shabbat Shalom. Marta, how lovely it is to see that you're here with us. Great. Okay. So now we're going to continue at the top of page 100. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, B'tzei v'mnuchatenu, Kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, V'ten chelkenu b'toratecha, Sabeinu mitzuvecha, V'samchenu b'shuatecha, V'tachya libeinu la'ovtecha be'emet, Chanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu, V'ahava u'v'ratzon Shabbat kodshecha, V'yanuchu v'Yisrael makadshei shemecha, Baruch Ata Adonai, Makadesh HaShabbat. Eternal God, be gracious to your people Israel, and in your love accept their prayers. May our worship now and always be acceptable in your sight. We praise you, O God, whom alone we worship in reverence. Modim anachnu lach, we give thanks that you, Eternal One, are our God, as you are the God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank and praise you for our lives, which are in your hand, for our souls, which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha Ulacha Na'eh Lahodot. We praise you, O God, source of goodness, to whom our thanks are due. And now we're going to sing Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'anecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael v'cholei tu v'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Okay, and now we'll have a few moments for silent prayer. Think about the year that's gone and the year that's hopefully to be a better one. What we're grateful for, what we want to change, and how lovely it is to be together with our community. So let's just have a few moments in silence. Thank you. Yehayu laratzon imrefi v'hegyon libi lefanecha. Yehayu laratzon imrefi v'hegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Bekoali. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Bekoali. Okay, so this is where there's sometimes a sermon, which I'm not really going to give a very long sermon, but I did want to say just something about this week's Torah portion, which is Vayechi, and I guess Craig will be reading it tomorrow morning and talking about it. But there's something particular in it that I wanted to mention because Jacob is on his deathbed and he blesses his descendants, his farewell blessing. And the interesting thing, or an interesting thing among many, is that he chooses to bless his two grandchildren before he blesses his sons. And as you know, he had many sons and they do all get an individual blessing. But he starts with his grandchildren. And as you know, I'm in grandmother mood this week. So I just thought I would say something about that. Jacob's grandsons are Joseph's children, Ephraim and Manasseh. And it is actually there is actually a quite traditional Jewish blessing that parents bestow upon their children, their male children, where they say, quite often, like Orthodox families would do this on a Friday night, may you be like Ephraim and Manasseh. And if it's a girl, they will usually say, may you be like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. So you've got that non-parallel, okay? We know who Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah are. They appear in the Amidah. They're the wives of the patriarchs. They're known as the matriarchs, the mothers of Judaism. But the parallel blessing over children is not Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. It's Jacob's grandchildren, Ephraim and Manasseh. And why? There's a couple of explanations that I'm aware of. There may be others, and the ones I'm aware of are both really nice, so I thought I would mention them. So one is that during the time that Jacob had a chance to observe these children, if you remember, Joseph disappeared off to Egypt because his brothers threw him into a pit, all that stuff, and then the rest of the family turned up in Egypt. And so Jacob had a chance to observe these grandchildren, and that these two brothers didn't fight and didn't seem jealous of each other, and seemed to just like exemplify brotherly love. And now you might think that's not that unusual, except for if we think what's happened in the Bible so far with brothers. We've had Cain and Abel, didn't work out well. We've had Esau and Jacob, didn't work out well. And we've had Joseph and his brothers, which, I mean, it turned out to have a happy ending, but they did throw him into a pit. So that's one reason that Jacob was enchanted by seeing these two children as a symbol of how he would like to see his descendants go forward in peace and brotherly love. And of course, we take that not to mean just literal brothers, but as when we sing Hine Matov about how lovely it is to have brothers and sisters all together, we don't just mean those who live in our bubble, we mean humanity. The other explanation is also a really nice one as to why he bestowed a particular blessing on these two children, because they had been brought up away from their culture. Joseph, of course, had gone off to Egypt. And so they were brought up away from the rest of the tribes of Israel. In effect, they were brought up in a non-Jewish environment, and indeed with a Joseph married outside of one of his tribes. So this is really nice. This is about blessing those who are going to continue the traditions of Judaism, even though they may be living outside of Israel and in a more secular world. And that applies to us and to our children. And when I say our children, I'm thinking of KLS collectively, how we do try to, as a community, bring up and educate our children to be able to contribute to the future of Judaism, even beyond their bar mitzvah, which so many of them do. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say about the Torah portion. So now we are going to move on to the concluding prayers, which are on somewhere around page 520. Exactly page 520, where we're going to get onto the Aleinu, for which I should stand up. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, lateit gedula liatzeh bereishit, asher samchalkeinu le'ached et shemo, v'kor aleinu lehamlich malchuto, v'anachnu kore'im, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu noteh shamayim v'yosed haaretz, ומושב יקרה בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו, ושכינתו זו, בגופי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו. ידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת אין עוד. We're now at the top of page 521. Trusting in you, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the glory of your might, when false gods will vanish from our hearts and idolatry cease forever. Help us to perfect the world by bringing it under your unchallenged rule, when all will invoke your name, relinquish evil and turn to you alone. May all who dwell on earth come to know that to you every knee must bend and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you let them humble themselves, and to your glorious name let them give honor. Let all submit to your sovereign rule. May that time come soon and last forever. For ultimate sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory, as it is written, the Eternal One shall reign forever. And it has been said, the Eternal God shall rule over all the earth. On that day the Eternal God shall be one, and known to be one. So, we're coming on to the Kaddish now. Now then, what I do know is, because I've got a list, we are remembering when we say Kaddish tonight, David Dombey, who some of us remember from the early days of KLS. He is the husband of Brenda, and we're remembering Hilda Mendelssohn, who also some of us remember, was the mother of Andrew and grandma of Zoe. And also Tina asked me to mention her mum, which I'm just trying to find the name because Tina did ask me earlier on. Yeah, I was Tina's grandmother, Rosal Berndt. It's a lovely Austrian name, Tina. I remember you talking about her at Shabbat Island Discs. So now let me have a look at the chat and see if anybody has named anybody else who they would like at Yahrzeit. Well, I'm not able to see any other names in the chat, but I do actually want to mention somebody who some of you might just know, a local man named Willie Schneer. He last year took part in our Holocaust Memorial Day project for schools. It was actually the first time he'd ever spoken to a school or ever spoken to a group of any kind about his experience on the Kindertransport and his life in Britain. And he died yesterday of COVID, sadly, which is really sad. But I spoke to his daughter today. He lived in Chessington, and he was just really, really pleased that he had the opportunity to speak for the first time to. I mean, in the days when we could cram people in, we had an audience of maybe 100 school kids and plus teachers in KLS last year, and he got messages back from all of them afterwards, which he treasured. And our wonderful Jamie Acton-Bond and Zoe Mendelson filmed the event for him, and during the course of the past year he's also have been looking over that film with much satisfaction. So now we're on page 522. As we worship before you, O God, we think of those who once shared with us the joys and burdens of life and who are no longer in our midst. The sorrow of bereavement is softened by the bond of love, which continues to unite us with our dear ones, and by our cherished memories of them, which we will always carry in our hearts. May all that was good in their lives remain with us as an influence for good. O God, grant consolation to those who are in sorrow and light to those in darkness. Teach us at all times to put our trust in you and to praise your name. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach yirotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'galat v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Hey shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam al yalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudasha b'rechu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Damiram ba'alma v'imru amen. Hey shalama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. V'osei shalom b'imromav hu ya'osei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol b'nei adam v'imru amen. So let's sit down, and we are getting towards the end of the service, and what I'm hoping to do now is to share my screen for Adon Olam. Oh yes, try this one. Computer sound. Okay, I'm hoping this is going to work. Yes. Adon Olam Hashem Malach Hayam Bye Bye B'Terem Kol Yatzir Livra Hayam Bye Bye Leit Nasa V'Chefso Kol Hayam Bye Bye Asai Melech Shemo Nikra Hayam Bye Bye Adon Olam Hashem Malach that didn't work, did it? Because I'm looking at my phone and I can't see what I was trying to share. I'm going to have one more go, and otherwise it's meant to be Adon Olam, but it looks like it looks like this is.
We heard it, but we didn't see the.
You heard it, but you
picture.
didn't see it. I'm going to have one more. I'm going to have one more go and see what I did wrong. I'm going to have one more because you do not want to. Oh yeah, okay. Okay.
Adon olam Hashem malach hayam bye bye b'terem kol yatzir nivra hayam bye bye leit nasa v'chefso kol hayam bye bye Hazai melech shemo nikra hayam bye bye Adon olam Hashem malach b'terem kol yatzir nivra leit nasa v'chefso kol hazai melech shemo nikra ואחרי ככלות הכל היום בye bye נפת אויב לא נורא היום bye bye והוא היה והוא הווה היום bye bye והוא יהיה בתפארה היום bye bye אדון עולם השם עלי בטרם כל יציר נברא להתנסה וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא והוא אחד ואין שני היום bye bye להמשיל לו להגבירה היום bye bye בלי ראשית בלי תכלית היום bye bye ולא העוז והמשרה היום bye bye אדון עולם השם עלי בטרם כל יציר נברא להתנסה וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא והוא אלי וחי קולי היום bye bye וצוחף לי בעת צרה היום bye bye והוא ניסי ומנוס לי היום bye bye מנת כוסי ביום אקרא היום bye bye אדון עולם השם עלי בטרם כל יציר נברא להתנסה וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא בידו אף כדרכי היום bye bye ביתי שם וירא היום bye bye ואמרוכי גבייתי היום bye bye אדוני לי ולא ירא היום bye bye אדון עולם השם עלי בטרם כל יציר נברא להתנסה וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא
So when the virus is over, you will never have to see that video again. Right, we're on to Kiddush now, everybody. We are on page 565 if you want the if you need the text. So we've done the candles, and now we're going to take our wine and Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. And then we're going to take our challah. Now I know Neil has made a challah, which he sent me a photo of, and I have made, I've made a challah as well. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. You may eat a piece of your challah. And some of us, those of us who took part, or those of us who took part in Limud are staying on after the service to talk about the things we learnt and experienced there. Otherwise, if you're not involved in if that, I will say Shabbat Shalom and hope to see you all soon. Bye.